So I think, I mean, one thing that comes up to me, so here's some delicious images of food,
Go
is
back to those for 1 second. Let's
that's an arepa from
just sit
Anytime
there for a minute.
Arepa. That's from Foxfire, I believe.
Right.
Um, and I think, so Chella, to your point of protecting, holding, creating spaces for culture too, because that's another conversation that has, as investment comes in, of having an analysis of which cultural spaces have existed successfully in the neighborhood over time. You're a part of one. And I think what Jesus, I think you're part of, and Ursula, you've also like helped create cultural spaces, is creating, spaces where culture can be kept and held. These are images from the pandemic. And I think, like, to me, one thing that strikes me about Zocalo, and then also, I mean, obviously, Chell, the work you're doing at WPCA is ushering in a new generation of leaders, so that the cultural representation in Walker's Point and what we consider to be art and culture is also being produced by people in their 30s, their 20s, and younger. So can you guys talk a little bit about the protecting and holding space for kind of the emerging culture that's coming up at the same time?
I think it's important that these new developments that are coming to the neighborhood, that they're open to have these discussions. They shouldn't wait, for the community to seek them. They should seek the community, and being open to listen. And I think once people understand that, we're willing to listen, take their feedback, and include them in the development, I think they realize that, what the goal is, the overall goal. I just feel like what's worked for us is really just embracing, unique ideas from everyone. And I think that's what's really helped us get to where we are today.
So, I mean, I would like to maybe contribute that to me, there's always been like two kind of Walker's Points. I mean, there's the Walker's Point with the Latino community, which was very tight knit and a lot more of a residential area. And then there was always the area, First Street, Second Street, and the areas east of there. And they have developed, I think they too ended up developing very differently. Early on, there was a lot of affordable housing that came into the neighborhood. And a lot of that was just built. I mean, there was very little conversation about who was going to occupy those buildings and, what they're contributing to the neighborhood. And then with that also came all the new type of restaurants that all of a sudden started to make Walker's Point safe for the rest of Milwaukee. Because I remember very strongly the rebranding of Walker's Point at one time as the Fifth Ward. I know how many of you still remember that, but that was a very deliberate ploy by developers at the north end of Walker's Point to kind of pull that area apart from the quote unquote bad parts of Walker's Point. And I know there's still some people who keep on referring to it as the Fifth Ward. And to me, that was always very kind of detrimental because it was trying to pull part of the essence of Walker's Point away in order to make it appear or in order to send the message that it was safe to come here. And I think over the last 15 years, that has kind of gone away, and that is no longer a big concern of people going to Walker's Point.